Hi everyone, welcome. This is Noelle with Influenced Colorist. I'm so happy that Erica from Elm Colors tagged me a while ago for one of her tags, Coloring Memories. Watching her video and some of the others in the tag, it's amazing how much we all have in common, which is pretty cool. Okay, so I'm actually doing a voiceover and gonna speed this process up a bit. I have not mastered the speaking and coloring like Erica. I'll be answering 10 questions and then tagging a few colorists to join in, but you do not have to be tagged in order to participate. I'm coloring in Lost Ocean by Johanna Basford, which I'll explain why in one of the questions. And I'm coloring this fish using Crayola products, Supertips, and probably some color pencils too. And I just picked colors that coordinated with the fish on the other side. Okay, question number one. Did you have a favorite coloring book or books as a child? So I don't really remember specific coloring books. I grew up in the 80s, so probably Disney, Cabbage Patch, and like My Little Pony were probably some I had. I feel like I could remember coloring in a Cinderella coloring book. But the thing I remember most coloring was the doodle art posters. These were like big posters in the tubes at craft stores or like I think the grocery store sold them too. My best friend and her older sister colored on these posters, and I just thought they were the coolest. I had two. I had a hot air balloon one and an under the sea one. I would bring them over to her house and we would unroll them and have them on the floor and just color for hours. I always liked hers better. She just always seemed to have like better color choices than mine. Yeah, so doodle art was one of my favorite things to color. All right, question number two. What was your go-to art supply as a child? Crayola products for sure. I mean, who doesn't remember getting those big box of crayons with the sharpener in the back? I feel like I can still smell them when I'm thinking about opening that box. As I got older, I even remember in high school getting the Crayola markers in the pastel and neon colors and making fun notes and pictures to pass to friends in class. And then going back to the doodle art posters, my mom had gotten me a set of Pentel markers to use. They were slimmer than Crayolas and had so many colors in the set. So I used those for doodle art. All right, question number three. Did you color or draw more as a child? And I definitely colored more. I was very jealous of my brother and dad who drew so good, but yeah, I did not have the same skills as they did. So I usually just stuck to the coloring. I did kind of self-teach myself to draw, probably like 5th or 6th grade. I set up some like still life in my room, like it was probably a teddy bear or another stuffed animal, and tried to draw it and do like all the pencil shading and stuff too. It definitely taught me how to look at objects and convert it to simple shapes that I could easily draw. I went looking through my old art pictures and found this gem. I was 13 years old when I drew this. Can you guess who this is? So think teen heartthrob of the 80s and early 90s. All right, I'll give you a second. All right, yes, this is Corey Haim. My wall was covered with pictures of him. If you are my age, will probably remember the Teen Bop magazines. And yeah, oh my gosh, I am so dating myself. I always loved being creative, and I can remember painting on like the clay masks and putting ribbon on them, and then also making friendship bracelets. All right, question number four. Do you have a favorite coloring memory as an adult or a child? My favorite childhood memory, other than the doodle art with my friend, would probably be coloring with my mom. There was a specific time, I think I was around 7, it was in 1983, and it had been raining for days. And it was actually like a big deal at the time because it was the 100-year flood in Tucson, Arizona. And like homes were swept away along the river, which is normally dry. So it was a big deal. So since we were all indoors, my mom sat down and colored with me. I remember she colored so nicely. She would outline and then color lightly. I just remember being really impressed with her coloring. So she was very crafty too. Like she taught me how to cross stitch and sew, and we would make Christmas ornaments in December. Oh, and also that time of the flood, I remember we made butter. Yeah, so we put cream in a jar with a marble and then had to shake it. So it's kind of funny what sparks your memories. As an adult, my favorite memories are coloring with my kids. I teach for an after school drawing program, and my kids were always in my class when they were in elementary school, and I just loved seeing how their skills progressed over the years. Okay, number 5. What was your first adult coloring book? So, this book, Lost Ocean, was my first adult coloring book. That is kind of why I chose to color in this one for the video. Probably like most of the adult colorists out there, I would see Johanna's Secret Garden books at the craft stores and kind of think about them, and maybe it would be fun to color in them. But it was when I saw Lost Ocean that is when I really wanted to start coloring again. I loved the ocean themed. So my father-in-law had passed away, and we were taking a road trip up to Wyoming for his funeral. We were in an RV with my brother-in-law's family, and I wanted to get my daughter and my niece something I thought we could do traveling for those days. So I was like, oh, this would be a good time to get that Lost Ocean book. And I asked my niece which book she wanted. She picked out Secret Garden. And then my daughter wanted a Millie Marotta coloring book. So it wasn't the easiest coloring in an RV, but we managed to color a little bit. All right, number 6. What was your first adult coloring supply? So, color pencils for this RV trip that I was telling you about in the last question. I bought us all some inexpensive pencil sets. They were the Marco Raffine color pencils on Amazon. I got us each a set, but then I ended up buying me like a roll-up case to put them in for like easy travel. Yeah, and that worked pretty good. I still have that same set. I actually really love the colors in the set. There's a few in there that are too small to use now, and I'm really sad because they were some of my favorite colors. And I can't seem to find a good match from any other company. So that's one thing I look for when I'm looking at new pencil sets, if I can find one of those similar color pencils. So I think I ended up buying like another set, or maybe I just used my daughter's and like picked out that color from her set. But yeah, then I think I lost it or something. I don't know. But yeah, I'm sad about that. All right, number 7. How did you get into adult coloring? Well, I think that goes along with my first coloring book. It started there, and then I ended up getting Enchanted Forest, and then maybe next was a Kirby Rozan's book. I remember telling myself that I wasn't going to get any other books until I finished at least one of these that I had, which is hilarious because I have so many more books now, and I have yet to complete a book. All right, question 8. Who was your first YouTube colorist? I'm going to say it was probably Dee Dee Willingham and her work in the Kirby Rozanne books. She definitely opened my eyes for using acrylic paint and different like multimedia mediums in my coloring books. Her tutorials were simple, but the results were always like amazing. And then from there, it was probably Coloring Kid. I think she was like one of the first ones I saw that either finished Ivy and the Inky Butterfly or, had come pretty close to finishing it. And then Zucchini Kitty with her use of distress ink or stamping ink, which I had a ton of from my stamping and scrapbooking days. So I was so excited to be able to use that in something else. All right, number 9, what is the first page you remember being really proud of? So I would say most of my earlier pages, I did a lot of copying. I would look at the ideas on Pinterest and just really like the look of what someone else had done and wanted to recreate that look. I always felt like I was a good copier, but I never really liked what I came up with. So just you know, on this page, for instance, the fish on the right, I am pretty sure that I copied that from someone because it was like one of the first pages that I did in this book. So yeah, I don't think I would have come up with that color scheme or the shading. So it was also just a way for me to learn some coloring techniques and, you know, shading and things like that. So yeah, it wasn't until I started my channel where I felt like I really needed to work on my own creations. So I'm gonna say this page from Pop Manga, Mermaids and Other Sea Creatures by Camilla D'Erico. It's just a simple monochromatic color scheme, but I was never really drawn to coloring people, and hair scared me, so picking this book was definitely out of my comfort zone. I used several different mediums, and yeah, I don't know what it is. I just remember being really proud of this one. All right, last question. What made you think, yes, I am now absolutely an adult colorist? So probably when I started my channel, I didn't even tell my family for a while that I started a channel. Like, I don't know, I don't even think they knew that I watched coloring videos, so they were kind of surprised that this content even existed. Yeah, and then creating channel content and trying to come up with stuff to do every month has been fun, but also challenging. And I hope I'm putting stuff out there that is a little different and gives inspiration to others. Other than using multimedia, I feel like my techniques are pretty easy to follow and achieve, and the feedback from other colorists and YouTube colorists have been really positive, so that for sure keeps me going. All right, and then there's a bonus question. Who in the coloring community do you remember reaching out to you to make you feel included? And I'm gonna say probably Coloring Kid. I did a video a long time ago, like when my channel first got going, of being inspired by one of her Ivy and Inky butterfly pages, and she actually mentioned me in one of her videos, so it gave me a little boost of visitors to my channel, and then also just knowing that she had watched my video was pretty cool. I would also like to say Erica from Elm Colors has always been so nice and complimentary to my work. I've been watching her for years and seeing her channel grow, so it makes me feel like a celebrity has just watched my video and made a comment. So that's always very exciting. So thank you, Erica, for your support. Okay, so now I'm going to pay it forward to some other colorist. I'm not sure how long they've had channels, but they are relatively new to me, and I have really liked their style. So no pressure, just for fun, I am tagging Jazzy Doodle Designs, Jordy Colors, and Bubble of Coloring. All right, have fun everyone. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.